Ready, set, listen. Hey guys, episode number 7. Chris, Pascal, the company is called ReadyHer. Today it's going to be a fun one.
Okay.
And you are so unprepared.
I am totally
enjoying.
unprepared.
You're always ready, but you don't know what I'm going to ask you. So
Yes.
today we're doing a viewer questions episode.
Viewers' questions.
Uh-huh. So
Okay.
since we started those episodes, we're getting a bunch of questions. Today we decided to answer
I'm going to play with my hair because that's
the
what I do when I'm
first
nervous.
few. And I'm going to put those on so
All right.
I see who is
Let's
asking.
Okay.
So, first question.
Yes.
I'd like to discuss this with my 11-year-old. Thankfully, she is still pretty naive and trusting. Do you have tips on how to bring up the topic? Keep it serious, but not scare her. Good
Ooh,
question.
That is a
right?
good question. And
Because
it's
normally we say like 13 years is about the age that we would take them into a normal adult seminar, right?
yeah, and I will say that Pascal, a lot of times I'll say something and she'll be like, do you think it's okay that you said that? Like, did you think you scare them? Like, you've said that to me before.
True.
So, but an 11-year-old, listen, I don't know if the viewers are going to agree with this, but I'm just going to tell you in my years of experience what I think. An 11-year-old today is not the 11-year-old that you and I were.
Yeah.
The world that they live in is very different. The things that they are exposed to are very different. And with social media and with the internet, they are not naive. And I'm going to give you a really good example.
Please do so.
Actually, when my kids were around 11, they were in middle school. And we went to opening day, open house. And we went...
Like open house for the school?
Like open house for the school,
Okay,
yeah, where you meet
okay.
your teachers
Yeah.
and, you go to the school and you meet, they get their schedule and walk their classes and stuff like that. And both of them, and they were about 11, we went in the cafeteria and I sat them down. And I said, okay, if somebody came in with a gun, an active shooter, if somebody came in, what would you do? Where are your exits? And they're there, and they're there. Okay, if you were sitting over there, where would you go? If you were sitting over there, where would you go?
Yeah.
If you were in this classroom and you needed a barricade, what would you do? And we actually had the conversation. Now, I know that's probably not normal, but I'm going to tell you this, Pascal. We had that conversation one time. We discussed it. This will probably never happen, but let's be prepared. And we never talked about it again.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to be prepared. And if you don't think that they don't see on the news what could happen, they do.
Yeah.
So it is a really good question. I mean, especially when you're talking about physical abuse of a young girl. You don't want to scare them. You don't want them to walk around thinking that every stranger's out to get them and every tree's got somebody hiding behind it. However, you do need to be real with them, and you do need to tell them, look, this is what can happen with a teacher, with a coach. You should never be alone with a coach. You should never go into a teacher's office by yourself. You should know where your exits are.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be honest with them. And everybody knows their daughter, right? They know
Correct.
whether their child is, tell it to me like it is, or if their child has a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
So only you can know how far to push it, and I
Correct.
trust parents to know that.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to be honest with them.
Yeah.
That's how I would answer that
Yeah,
question.
that's great. I love it. So let's go straight to the next one I got here. Okay, I just read it as it comes in.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Do you recommend any at-home exercises for me to have a stronger kick or for arm strength to break a hold? So I think break a hold
that's
is
a
if
good
somebody
question.
probably
Yeah.
holds you. That's what
I
she's
mean,
thinking.
I think just regular exercise and health and fitness is really important, because it especially your core, because it affects everything. It affects our balance. It affects, our ability to fight back. So, I'm not going to say, oh, you should do 50 squats 3 times a week, or you should, get a bag. I'm not going to recommend that. I would definitely say, though, you should try to be physically fit as fit as your body allows. You know, some people have bad hips, some people have bad backs. So I would do whatever I can to be as strong as I can be. And I would try to have that strong core, because a lot of self-defense is balance. You know, it's being able to get away and stay on your feet and not end up on the floor. So just general overall physical fitness.
Okay. And I would say you often say also about that the strength also comes with your determination, right? The will to live.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most of it is mental.
Yeah.
You know, I once had an instructor who said there are 3 things that helps you win a fight: will to live, technique, and size. And if you're being attacked, you probably are on the losing end of the size. I can't imagine some smaller person, you know, would want to attack you. Maybe they would if they had a weapon, I suppose. But so technique, coming to a class and knowing a few things, and having a will to live is a big part of it.
Perfect. Let's take the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, that is one I recognize. We get that question. I would swear every single seminar this question comes up.
I already know what it is.
Do you recommend carrying mace or a pepper spray?
Yep, I already know what it is.
Right when I said.
Here is my stance on that. Yes and no. That is my answer.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be my answer, because if you know how to use it, if you are proficient in using it, and if you are willing to use it, yes.
And it's the same with a gun, right?
It's the same with a gun.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use it, if you are skittish about pulling it out, if it is complicated to get to, no. So it really depends on the purpose, on the person. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, if you have pepper spray in your purse and somebody grabs you, I don't think they're going to wait for you to get it out.
Yeah.
You know, or if you pull it out on somebody, you better believe that's going to anger them. That's not going to make your situation better. So you better know how to use it.
Correct.
You know, a lot of things can be turned against you.
Yeah.
So do I recommend it? Depends on the person. That's a tough one to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we do have one little thing that we do recommend on our seminars, what everybody can carry, but I tell you what, we're not going to tell you right here on episode 7.
We'll save that.
Maybe we'll
have a weapons
it.
podcast.
we're not gonna tell about that one yet. We're gonna take the next question.
Yeah, we're taking the next question.
Okay, that's a bit a longer one. I'm gonna go slow.
All right.
Okay. People ask me for directions. The time or help finding something all the time, and I don't want to be rude.
Sure.
You know, that's where it's going, right? Should I pretty much stop answering and just be rude unless I'm in a safe setting, which with a group or middle of a crowd? I think you've got the gist of it.
I got the gist of it, yeah. That's a really good question. And I would say my answer is, if you take out the word rude in your question and you change it to confident, there's your answer.
Yeah.
You don't have to be rude, but you don't have to be helpful either, right? I mean, we live in a people-pleasing society. Women, we don't want to seem like we're judging somebody. We don't want to seem sexist. We don't want to seem racist. We don't want to seem like we're assuming somebody is meaning ill will by the way that they're dressed or the way that they look. And we're so concerned with that sometimes we may go against our better judgment. You know, the example I like to use is when you're in the mall, and I'm sorry if you're one of these people, that it has a kiosk and they're trying to get you to take their lotion, and they're trying to get you to let them flat iron your hair or something like that. You're not rude to them, but what do? You just walk by and say, no, thank you, I can't help you. I'm in a hurry. Yeah. Just do that.
That's all it needs.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
So if you're in an environment, you don't have to help everybody, but you don't have to be rude. There's no need for that, but you do have to be confident. You do have to be forceful, and you do just have to say, I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, I can't help you. I mean, that's it.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry, I can't help you. And look them in the eye. You can smile, you could say it friendly, and then just keep on walking. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
When you go on our website, ReadyHer.net, there is also what we talk about section, and there is a little article about exactly that question, and we called it, it's okay sometimes to be a bit bitchy, just a little bit. Go and check it out. It's on our website. But now we're going back to the next question. The next question is, can you talk through why de-escalation is not a recommended strategy?
You know what? I'm not going to say that it's not. That's a really good question. My mind, and I did not know that you were going to ask me that. My mind,
I didn't know either.
my mind instantly goes to an active shooter situation.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do some work with the Swanee Police Force, and we were going through a scenario. It was an active shooter situation at a school, and the woman behind the counter, behind the desk, when you first walk in, I don't know what you would call her, the
receptionist.
Receptionist,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, administrator, was able to talk this kid down and get him to lay his gun down.
Wow.
I've heard other situations where, someone will break into your house, and there was another guy that he was in Atlanta, and he went on a rampage, and he broke into a woman's house, and she was able to, I think they were there for a day or two, and she was able to get him to surrender. So you have to trust your gut. You have to read a situation. Mm-hmm. You know, by whatever cues you're getting, if this is something I think I can get out of, and this is the way I want to go, or if I need to hit this guy and hit him fast, because, my life feels like I'm at danger, or I'm just going to anger him and make a situation worse because I'm in a place where I can't get out. So I'm not going to say whether you should or you shouldn't de-escalate. Every situation is different. Mm-hmm. What I am going to say is, know the signs, be prepared for either, and listen to your intuition. Mm-hmm. That's how I would answer that question.
Cool. So I think we're going to do one more.
Okay.
And then that will be it for episode 7. So the last one is here. Do you have some examples of when the quotation bad guy did not look anything like a criminal and actually looked more like a favorite aunt or a friend?
Oh my gosh.
School?
I don't know, have you met Jeffrey Dahmer or like any serial killer in the history of the world? Yeah.
I think you could go back to
what?
the same with your gut, right?
It is. I will tell you, I will not name the place, but I remember when my daughter was 3, and I was dropping her off at a daycare for church. And you go into the rooms based on your last name, M through X, and ages 2 to 3 go in room 202, whatever. And we went in a room, and there was a man sitting there, and he crouched down, and he opened her eyes, and I grabbed the back of her neck, and I said, "Nope, we're not coming in here." And I don't know what it was.
Wow.
It was a feeling that I got, and I turned around and I looked at my husband and I said, "We're leaving." And he was probably the nicest guy in the world, but it is just a feeling that I got. So we don't need to assume that everyone that's, dressed in all black with a heavy coat and boots and a hat, that they're trouble. Mm-hmm. And we don't need to assume that everybody that's dressed like a nice guy is a nice guy. Mm-hmm. We really just have to pay attention to clues. And in our seminars, we talk about what those clues look like. Yeah. And our gut feeling, and trust our gut. So I tend to not be very trustful. However, I think after years of doing this, and even people who don't, in about 10 seconds, you can really size somebody up. Mm-hmm. And whatever they tell you, good guy, bad guy, listen to it. Yeah. That's how I would answer that question.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. Those were good.
Right. So we are waiting for more questions from you all out there. You can send them on our email, info@ReadyHer. We will look at them. We will give it to our pro to answer to it. And that's it for episode 7.
Those weren't so bad. Those were good questions. Those were easy
really
questions.
Good questions. Yeah.
We'll see what we get next time.
Yeah. Episode 7, check. We'll see you for episode 8. This is Chris and Pascal saying bye-bye.
Bye.